Hey everyone, this is Chef. Welcome back to Planet Zoo in Empirical Sahara, our arid African desert themed zoo. We are going to be opening up the arid Savannah Trails section of the zoo today. I've double checked animal trading, and at least like 20 minutes ago, it looked like buying and selling animals was working, which is great. So whatever issue we were having last time looks like it's fixed. I took care of the caracals, and we've got a new one that's going to be showing up to quarantine in just a few moments to put back in there. But more importantly, it means that we can start buying all of our animals for the Dry Savannah Trails, and we can start getting these initial exhibits built. So, let's get started. I love doing these episodes, and I'm excited to dig in and get this kind of stuff done as we rename this to Dama Gazelles. So, a couple structural things, because we need to think about how guests and workflows and conveniences and all that stuff is going to flow in this section of the zoo. The first thing that I want to do is get my initial path network in. It's going to help us figure out how all of this kind of fits together and what it's going to look like. This section right here in the middle is eventually going to be penguins. And doing penguins means that we're going to be working with water. So I want to give myself a very wide berth around this section of the zoo in particular. Please stop that. Around this section of the zoo in particular, because I know that eventually I'm going to have to hassle with water. And that's going to be a gigantic pain. So we're going to have a section of path that comes down here. This is going to flow into where the African elephant. You know what? Actually, I've got an idea for this. Hang on. Let's run around this way, because I was thinking about this section. And I don't know that I just want the entire thing to be flat path. We haven't really played around a lot with elevation, except for the small viewing gallery that we have for the hyenas. And I was thinking, this is the join I want. I was thinking, what if this section is elevated? Not very high, just like a couple meters off the ground. How would that look? We definitely don't want it that big. Give me elevated length to 1 meter. How do we feel about a 2-meter elevation? I think we can go a little higher. I think that's pretty good. Now, is this like ADA accessible? Not really. I would also like to save myself a lot of crying later on and actually keep this part angle snapped. And then in the middle, I'd like to have a bigger viewing gallery. So we're going to do something like this. And then we're going to have part that extends out this way. It comes back down over here. And about there is where it's going to join back in. So I have a little bit of viewing here. I want to round this corner off a bit. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe round this corner off a bit as well. So we'll just place a path, delete a path. Make it a little rounder. I might also want to round this one off. Oh, okay, maybe not that much. What if I were to add a path and then delete it from here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's just like it's a funky shape. It's going to be real annoying to put a curb in on that, but it's an interesting shape, and it'll give us something unique about that section of the zoo when we eventually get to it. You need to come out one more. You need to come out to there, and then we can drop you. So you're going to come down into the ground here, and then this is where the normal path is going to resume. We can take angle snap off now. You will come around this way. You're going to hook around like this. It's going to give us a little viewing alley for the African wild dogs, and then you're going to curve around this way. You can get like a little section that comes off here. There's a place for guests to look at them. I would like you to not clip. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. And then I want to round that off. I might also want to round this off as well. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so this will be the wild dogs. We've got a nice little section over here for viewing. We are going to need one food court here. So this is going to be our central zoo food court, and people looking at the ostriches from over here, looking at the elephants from here, and looking at the Dama Gazelles from here, and maybe a little bit of the wild dogs from here, should be able to use this section. People looking at the porcupines, the African crested porcupines from here, elephants from here, ostriches from here, can use the Riverbank Oasis food court, but we're going to need a third one right here. So grab me my, well, I guess it doesn't have to be. What have we used in other places? We've crazed mosaic in the Arid Sahara section. In the Horn of Africa, we're using, I think that's crazed stone. Is it crazed stone over here as well? No, over there it's board. So over here we should use something different again. Maybe like a herringbone. So we're going to put down a single path. Something like this, and then we're just going to align a grid to it. You're going to be about that big, I would say. We're going to have a rustic path that comes off of it, and then we're going to deselect our grid. And we're going to go back to putting path down. And we'll swing this up just a little bit, and then you've got a pretty tight corner here. And then you're going to come around through this way. And it's okay for the path to be a little wider here. In fact, how does tree bark look? No, that's not right. I don't think gravel's also right. I was thinking maybe we want the Arid Sahara section, or the Dry Savannah Trails section, to look a little more natural. But I think it's going to look too natural if we use any of those. So this should be our rough shape. We might tweak a couple of these paths. We might move a couple things around. Obviously, we have to move some barriers around, but for the most part, that's how this is going to look. So let's get staff paths in next. We're going to run you... Well, you need to be thinner, first of all. We can take you down to like 4 meters. We're going to have you loop around this way. Connect up here. Connect up there. So that is Dama Gazelle, African Wild Dog. We will have a wider path that comes through here. Maybe not 8. Maybe we go like 6. So this is going to lead into where our main animal services are. You can go. And I don't want you to snap, please. Fine. We'll come at it from over here then. There we go. And then take these down to 4 for the connections. So 1 there, 1 here, and then 1 extremely small staff path over here. And this is going to feed into the porcupine. So that's staff access. Let's get actual staff buildings down. We will need staff facilities. Do not show me blueprints. I just want to see the buildings. We will need a large staff room. You're going to be upset about the barrier back there, I think. So let's move that out of the way. Something like that. Now are you happy? Yes, much happier. So we'll have staff room here. we'll have a small quarantine, a large keeper hut. That also gives us a little more space to make the... I actually think I want to do this in a different order. I want you to come over here. And then I want you to come here. And you to come here, and you to come here. I don't want to make this super narrow. So that should make it easier for the ostriches to traverse that. And then let's put our null barrier back in. We'll just slide you around a bit. We'll get the exact placement figured out later on once we actually start doing some decorating and detailing back here. For now, this is going to be more than enough. Let's add a little carve out here, and that'll be a fun view for people in the staff room as well. They will really get some nice views of the ostriches wandering around in there. Link that back up. Good. And then over here, what else do we actually need in a staff facility? Hey, well, you should put down like a couple. We should put a vet surgery in here, just so we have one in case we need it. Again, you're going to need to get rid of barriers. I've never taken care of elephants before, so I do wonder if they're going to need like 2 keeper's huts just to keep them fed. I have to imagine they eat a lot. Let's rotate this off its axis just a little bit so that it lines up with the path better. So vet surgery, I'll give you guys a research center over here too. But then really, what else do you need? What do we have over here? Research center, vet surgery, staff room. Oh, that's right. We were on 2 staff rooms. Okay, yeah, we can do that. So it'll be 1 staff room for the keepers, and then it will be 1 staff room for like guest services, so that we can run separate staff rooms or staff training. So we'll swing you around. Actually, we could swing you around like this. You can go like here. And then we'll just have a small staff path connect you in. Something like this, I guess. Should work fine. And then this we can have just be like a little garden area. So that should be our basics for staff, for taking care of all of the stuff in here. Let's fix our elephant barrier. Get that positioned back in. It'll come around like this, and then it'll just be a straight shot over here. And then it can just connect up there. Okay. And then guest services. I want to run a path around the food court because this is going to get super busy. So I want to have a path. Well, you should mark out where you want stuff to go. You only have $34,000 right now? Holy cow, what did you spend money on? Are you losing money right now? No, you're fine. You just must have spent a fortune on something. What's the land? Oh, well, I guess, you know what? It's all the staff buildings. So we need to earmark like 8 meters back here. So give me Planet Zoo log 8 meters. Tip it on its side. And then give me another 4 meters. Just as buffer space. And that's about how much space I want to leave for, like, restaurants and stuff. Which means I need to back the river up. I'm really hoping that you're going to let me drain this and put it back. You won't. So that's very unfortunate. It means that we can never modify this water ever again. Because we can't put it back in because it becomes obstructed by something. So we're going to have to work around that, which is not ideal. Take me back up to an 8-meter path. You're going to have to clip that corner of the food court off. And that's just going to have to be fine. It's one of those interesting little imperfections that gives the zoo a bit of character. So this path is going to run out this way. And this is just going to be if you want to go directly to the Kalahari and Namib section, you would take this path. And then we're going to have a small connection that gets made here. Something like that, and then round this corner off a bit. And then round this corner off a bit. Round this corner off. I actually hate how that looks. Maybe don't do that one. Maybe around this corner off, though. And then maybe around this corner off as well. And maybe this one. Okay. And then you can get rid of these as your markers. Facilities. Going into guest facilities now. You know what? I'm actually not going to place these right now. What are we researching right now for mechanic stuff? It should be souvenir shops. And you just started on that. I think I only have one mechanic research, though. Is this true? It should be over here. No, I have 2. Where's the second one? I really have 2 workshops? That can't be right. Facilities. Staff facilities. Yeah, I only have 1 workshop. Okay. Then you are going to get a workshop as well. I would like to edit this group, take me into facilities, take me into staff facilities. Open a second workshop. You also probably need power in this section of the zoo. How are you doing on power over here? You can extend it a bit with a generator there, but you're going to probably need one back here, and you're probably going to need one over here. This is going to be good enough for now. I think you definitely want this one no matter what. So put that in. But I think you're also going to want one over here. Do not make it part of that group. And do not show me the overlay either. I just want to see the generator. How is negative impact on guests from there? I wish I could see the path. There's going to be a small negative impact there until we decorate it up. But it should be fine. And then we're probably going to need one more to cover this section as well. Where in the world is that going to go? It might need to be a solar. Because solar panels do not... Oh, they're so small, though. Now, you know what? You can work with this. Specifically, you can work with this by putting a solar panel here, and then also having this be an education station for guests. You can put one of your little education booths next to this, and you can call it like renewable energy and reducing the carbon footprint, and it can be like an in-zoo example of, oh, this is how we're... God, they're so small, though. A wind turbine does not do much better. A transformer gives me almost everything I need, but realistically, I can't get a transformer in here without it having a pretty significant negative impact on guests. And I like the way this little path section is structured right now. Huh. That's an interesting problem. It's always nice when you get to confront an interesting problem. How feasible would it be to put a transformer here? Just hypothetically. You can make that work. And it covers almost everything you needed to cover in that food court. This is going to have to be good enough. So this barrier needs to get adjusted pretty significantly, because there is now going to be a staff path that flows out of this generator into this path section. Oh, I hate that. Oh, it's ruining everything I worked so hard for. That's also a really long way from keeper facilities. No, I don't think that's gonna work. We might need to do 2 solar panels, which I really don't. We might need to do 3 solar panels. So we'd have one here. It should be fairly easy to hide this with foliage. And then we'd have another one here. And this would be our one that's like a guest education station. And how does that look for power coverage? If you ignore this, which I don't want to ignore, pretty good. What if you move this generator even further? If you can get it to about here, that's pretty good. And I think you can. I think that's going to be our better option. All right, you're coming to about here. So we're going to have a small dead spot on that path walkway. But it's not going to be so big that we can't just work around it. That is not where I wanted you to go at all. There we go. This one we can hide from guest view really easily. We can integrate it into some kind of shelter for the wild dogs. This will work. And then it's got a pretty easy path connection as well. Can I interest you in joining in? Yeah, that'll... Oh, you're not even the right color. There we go. Okay. That's not as bad of a walk. This is still a pretty nasty walk. But I think we just need to eat the fact that that needs to be there for now. Maybe eventually we can... I don't even know where... Well, I guess for Kalahari, the zoo services is probably going to be like here, because it's like the only place they can fit. But we're not doing that right now. Okay. Now let's get back to guest services since everything is powered. Guest facilities. We are going to need drinks. A lot of drinks. Let's rotate you. You're also going to need to decorate that generator. That generator is going to cheese people off. Get a drink stall, like right here. And a drink stall right here. And a food stall right here. Give me a pair of toilets on a separate grid. Here and here. And then we've got room for something else here too. Maybe like an information kiosk. Probably doesn't hurt to have a bunch of these around. But we don't want the line to be too atrocious for it. No, I think you do want an information kiosk here. I was thinking about it. Something like that means the lines shouldn't intersect too badly. And then we'll head over here. And over here, I'm going to wait until we have some new drink shops and food shops researched. So we're going to put one of our mechanics on that. I'm actually going to add one more mechanic research because we've got all of this empty space over here in the Horn of Africa to take up. Give me a workshop. Just a little one. We can decorate that up later. Add it to the work zone. This is Horn of Africa. I think that workshops go in guest services because mechanics are in guest services. Is that right or is that wrong? There's one mechanic in animal care. There's also a mechanic in guest services. Okay. So you're Horn of Africa guest services. You should also be Horn of Africa animal care, to be fair. And then that means that after we hire our next mechanic, we will have mechanics that can access all three workshops. So we can put one person on drinks, we can put one person on food. And we can knock those all out. So from here, we can actually build our work zones for the Dry Savannah Trails. We go here, 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 and here. And then we just include all of these staff buildings. And this is Dry Savannah Trails Animal Care. And then we make another new work zone. I don't know what you are, so I'm going to leave you for now. We add all of these. No, you can be Dry Savannah Trails as well. And then this is going to be Dry Savannah Trails Guest Services. Lovely. So eventually when we add the penguins are technically going to get taken care of by Dry Savannah Trail staff. I don't think I'm going to give them their own separate, like, bespoke network of care. So, should probably get bins in. Let's get all these paths ready to go. Taking me to bins, benches, security. We're going to need bins here and here on the way out of the food court. Give people lots of opportunities to throw their trash away. We're going to need a polite scattering of bins through here. Maybe like one here. And then all the way down through here, we're going to need bins as well. Definitely into the food court. And then also this exit of the food court. And then also at the junction points on the elevated walkway. Give people Do we give people benches up here? Because I want everything along here to be viewable. I don't really want people to stop. Basically ever when they're standing up there. So for now, let's skip it. We can go bench, bench, bench. You can have a place to sit when you come down. That's fine. You can have some nice picnic benches here in the food court area. We'll leave that one blank because I think it's going to interfere with pathfinding. There you go. Did we give them umbrellas in the other one? You did, yeah. Did you sink them? Yeah, you sunk them into the table in the other section of the zoo as well. Also, random rotate these. I don't want them all looking so uniform. Does it diminish their functionality? Yeah, like a little bit. But whatever. Okay. You probably need a few more bins like down this way as well. In here, here, here. This definite bench opportunity. Here also bench opportunity. Bench opportunities through here. Bench opportunities through here. A little bit of bench opportunity there. That should be plenty of places for people to sit down. We'll wait to put tables in this section until we've actually got the food court buildings unlocked that we want to be in there. Let's do some staff hiring. We are going to need... How many educators do we run per exhibit? So animal care is 6 habitats. In guest services, how many educators do I have? Oh, they live under animal care, okay. Wait, none? Oh, you were looking at Entrance Plaza guest services, that's why. Or it's Sahara guest services. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 for 6 habitats, so it's roughly 1 educator to 1 habitat. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here eventually, so you're going to want 6 educators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna run out of money. I forgot how expensive it is to set up a section of a zoo. Dry Savannah Trails, animal care. No, they're in guest services, right? Yeah. Dry Savannah Trails, guest services, staff. Sort by work zone. Roll me down to educators. All of you guys. Dry Savannah Trails, guest services. Guest services. Guest services. Guest services. Guest services and guest services. Oh, you also need to split your staff rooms. So this is Dry Savannah guest services staff room. Services staff room. And then this is Dry Savannah animal care staff room. So your perk is rec room. We want you to recover faster. And then your perk is staff PR course. And then we want to change up how the work zones are actually allocated to you. Dry Savannah guest services does not use that staff room. And then Dry Savannah animal care does not use that staff room. There we go. How much does it cost to hire? It doesn't cost you anything to hire them. Okay, we're fine then. So if we look at vets, you've got roughly 2 vets per section of the zoo. We're going to need 2 vets for you. 1, 2. And then we're going to add you to Dry Savannah Trails Animal Care, Dry Savannah Trails Animal Care. Keepers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorted. It'll make it easier count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 for Horn of Africa. You have a lot more for Arid Sahara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 12 for Arid Sahara. So you probably want 10 keepers for dry trails. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then let's go and assign them. Animal care, animal care, animal care, animal care. Animal care, all animal care. Educators we did. Mechanics. There's a lot of power infrastructure to maintain here. It's 2, 3 generators and 2 solar. We're going to need 3 mechanics for this. It's going to be 2 in... It's going to be 1 in animal care, and that's going to be maintaining fences. So 1 mechanic in animal care. And then it's going to be 2 in guest services. And that's going to be maintaining restrooms and generators. So guest services, and then also make sure that your power plants are actually in Dry Savannah guest services. They're not. So you get included in all of this. Okay. Security guards? The 1. I don't know. I've never actually seen a security guard do their job, but we don't really have crime in the zoo. So you're going to be guest services. Caretakers. Caretakers are in charge of doing things like sweeping. 4, 4, and 4. I would say that probably means we want to have 4 caretakers for this section as well then. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they all go in guest services. Dry Savannah, Dry Savannah, Dry Savannah, Dry Savannah. And then vendors. I see vendors who aren't where they're supposed to be. So we just hired you. You're in Information Center 5. That actually means your guest services. Just a memento 1 is the dude that we hired in Horn of Africa, but just forgot to assign him. Same thing with Looney Balloons 2. That's actually Horn of Africa. And then there should be a ton down here. Anyway, Gulpy Soda 8, 9. Where are you? Okay, you're Dry Savannah. You are Horn of Africa. You're Horn of Africa. You're Dry Savannah. So how many vendors do you need per section of the zoo? Entrance Plaza has a ton of shops. Don't look at that as being representative. Look at Horn of Africa. Horn of Africa is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. For how many shops are in the Horn of Africa section? No, that's staff. I want to see facilities. Can I not see facilities by work zone? I have to be able to see facilities by work zone. No, it just shows you buildings. Oh, I'm going to have to count them. 2. Well, no, because vendors don't work there. 4. 7. 10. Just 10? So we have like 2 vendors per building. And then in Dry Savannah Trails, we're going to have 3, 4, 8, probably. So we're going to need 16 vendors. So many vendors. We'll put them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 8, and then we'll hire the other 8 when we actually do that section. That way we're not overloading it. So you 8 are going to be Dry Savannah Trails guest services. All right. If there's anything else I've forgotten to do, and I'm sure there is, we'll figure it out later. I want to start putting animals down. So let's hop into animal trading and start buying some stuff. We want Dama Gazelles. I don't remember how many we planned for in this exhibit, but I'm going to guess that like all other herd animals, this is 1 male and as many females as you want. So we will start with... You are slightly younger. And then we'll grab both of you. Hop into your trade center. Find your Dama Gazelles. Send them to quarantine. Not ostriches. Send them to quarantine. Good. Our elephants we have already, so we can skip those. We're going to need African wild dogs. What is your species data like? 27 males, 9 females. Alpha male and alpha female only. So I don't think that I can have multiple males. Maybe I can. I don't know. If we can't, we can move them out of the pack later. And also, there's pretty slim pickings. I'll start with 2 males, 2 females. You, you, and you. You're going to need common ostriches as well. Grab you 4, send to zoo. You go in here. Let's go get some common ostriches. Common ostrich. Plenty of them. 1 male, 7 females. Let's go 1 and 4. We will grab a nice relative. You know what? This is a cheat male. It's very young. Genes aren't great, but that's fine. And we're pretty flush with leaf bugs. I'll take this guy. And then give me like 3 females. 2 females? I'll take that too. Ostrich. Grab you 3, send to zoo. This quarantine is going to be slammed for a while. Set filters, and then we get African Crested Porcupine. What do you guys think? Up to 5 males, up to 5 females. We'll do 1 male, 2 females, let's say. These guys are kind of pricey. 1 male. And then 2 females. And that, coincidentally, is almost all of our money. African Crested. Send it to zoo. You come in here. So while we wait for those deliveries to arrive, I'm not quite ready to unpause yet because animals are going to get grumpy if we leave them in the trading post for too long. Let's take a look at what kind of fence each animal needs. So back to Dama Gazelle. Into your Zoopedia. You need a grade 2 fence over 4 feet. So that's like a little over a meter. We can just use normal chain link here. Chain link will do just fine. It's grade 2. Back here for African wild dog. You need grade 2 over 4.125. Same thing. Chain link will work just fine here. Select all of this. Oh, right. You're gonna be annoyed by the path. Yeah, we need to make our adjustments here. Pull you back a little bit. Anywhere else you're gonna be mad about path? Yeah, you're gonna be mad about path there. Probably a little mad about path there. We'll do our final adjustments on these when we actually build like permanent decoration-based fencing. That's when we'll get it to be super flush with path. For now, though, this will be fine. Ostriches. Need grade 2 greater than or equal to 4 meters. So again, chain link will work just fine. Didn't even have to adjust path. Beautiful. This, I can already tell you're going to give me problems. You as well. Probably you as well, definitely. This is going to be porcupines. Porcupine. Grade 1 over 3 feet. So something even worse than chain link would work here, but I think chain link is still fine. Relatively cheap. And then the elephants. Chain link over 4 feet is not going to work for elephants. I will tell you this for free. In fact, we haven't done any barrier research. I wonder if we even have a fence that can hold an elephant in. It might be that we don't. But we'll find out. Just do our adjustments here so that our eventual fence actually wants to cooperate. And then we don't need that anymore. Our small army of staff just hanging out over here. Okay, elephants, what do you need? I'm gonna say like 10-foot grade 5, probably. 6-foot grade 4. Okay, not as bad as I thought. So we're gonna need to go to 3 meters. Wait, it's 4.4 feet, that's it? That seems really low. 6.6 feet. 6.6 feet to meters. Probably going to be like 3.1, 2.0. Okay, so we'll make like a 2.5 meter fence. And it has to be grade 4. Brick will work. In fact, brick's the only thing we have right now that'll work. So we'll take brick. And then we'll just have to put windows in. Is it that I can't afford it? Or is it that there's a spot where it clips with path? Both are likely. Okay. We're in the negatives. Dude, it's been a while since we were broke. And I'm going to have to take a loan out because I haven't put down any kind of educational resources. I don't think we're going to be in here forever. So give me the 20K. We turn a lot of profit. It should not be that hard to stay profitable even with that loan. So for viewing, right here can be window. Here, guests can actually see over the top of the wall. We don't need to worry about that. Here can be viewing. And then here can be viewing. I'll leave this part as not viewing so that people either look at the porcupine here or they just like keep moving. And that is all of our fencing. So I think at this point we can unpause. We can start putting in guest education resources and donation resources. So let's duplicate you. Start getting our learning materials in. You are not going to be baboon. You are going to be African Savannah Elephant. Oh, it's not going to be able to see it because I haven't put it in yet. All right, we'll put the animals in first then. What's the problem here? Yeah, that's fine. I know. Don't worry. Then we've also got a couple animals that we need to... I haven't even been delivered yet. All right, the caracal is still on the way. We've done something. Sure. Staff are having to queue to use the quarantine. That's fine. That's expected. We'll have you go here, and then we'll narrow the range of the speakers after that. We'll have you come over here. I'm just going to put one down in each spot, and then we can set up one to be the right animal, and then we can copy and paste it as much as we want. We'll have one here. And then we'll have one over here. Excuse me. I want the whole thing. There we go. Quarantine full staff queuing. I'm aware. I'm so aware of the problem. Is that also what this red alert is for? Yeah. Yeah, everybody mad. It's okay. We'll get through it. Red Fox proceeding well. That is potentially a new toy enrichment. Let's see what you guys have. Oh, what the heck are you? Did I get another color morph? Oh my god, I did. What are you? Art melanistic. Red fur, black markings, and white tail tip. You're a cool guy. Dude, these foxes are going morph crazy. Alright, no new toys. So you got something new, but somebody else discovered it first. You're also going to need donation bins as long as you're over here. That is guest facilities finance? Yeah. Facility having negative effect on guests? Oh, yeah, I haven't decorated this thing at all. Huh. Okay, for now, just for now, because I'm not ready to totally solve this problem yet, we're going to take the cheese approach. How you looking? 3%? Oh my god, it cares about decoration. Oh. Select group. Give me a hideous concrete wall. Select group. Edit group. Will this make you happier? Slightly more. I don't want to be doing this right now because I don't even like where this generator is, and I'm probably going to change it later. So I just want you to chill out enough that you stop bothering my guests. There we go. Okay. That's one solved problem. There's a ton of educational boards that don't work. I'm aware. Let's check my caracal. Are you ready to come out yet? Not yet. Let's keep progressing our vet research. Rotavirus going well. Enjoy that, because in about a month, maybe a month and a half, we're not going to be researching viruses anymore. We're going to have 5 new kinds of animals that we have to research instead. Why is there an ostrich in here? Okay, well, just remember that thing's there, I guess. You can come over here to Caracals. Are any of you guys ready yet? 1 Dama Gazelle is ready. Let's get it in, because once we do, we can set up the guest education for it. Does that mean that there's animals that, like, bled into here as well? Yes. There's a porcupine in there. Somebody come drop this thing off. Sandcat expecting offspring. That's going to make problems for us later. It's all happening. Everything is happening all at once because we've added a colossal amount of animals to the zoo. But it's okay. Rukia has arrived. Good. Good, good, good. My Dama Gazelle is about to get dropped off. Good. Alright. Let's make you happy. No points of escape. Great. What do you need? You need more soil. And you need... Well, you don't really care about how much sand there is. Fair enough. We'll run some heavy soil all along the front of your exhibit. And then maybe get rid of some of that rock, too. You don't need hard shelter, apparently, which I love. You don't need foliage, which I love. Let's filter your habitat items. I'll give you a medium food trough and a water pipe. And you can have a hanging grazer feeder. And you can have a rubbing pillar. You can have an herb scent marker over here and over here. I'll give you like a scarecrow feeder too. You should be more than happy with that as your other friends continue to move in. And then we can switch these around. So this is going to be wide Dama Gazelle. This is going to be Dama Gazelle. This is going to be Dama Gazelle. And then we're going to slide this whole thing around. So you can sit right about here. I really wish you would show me the path in this overlay. Let's just say you go like there, and then we'll manually adjust a little bit. You want to be about here. And then we'll duplicate you again. You want to be about here. Do some fine tuning. Then we should have space for one more over here at the end. We're going to need to turn down the radius on the speaker by about 1 meter. It barely conflicts. If I move you to here, no, not you, the whole thing. If I move you to about here, and then about here, you don't really conflict at all. And then you get bins. Ooh, and we get to pick new bin colors because we're in a new section of the zoo. Grab you. So for Dry Savannah Trails, we want a little bit of green on this thing. The hand, I think, is fine being brown. I think I want the darker stripe. That's a little too green. What if we do the background color? No, that just looks bad. Oh, that might be the one. If we change it to something that's like a little more orange. Yeah, I think that's the one. I want it to look a little more green. Because we're kind of in the savanna. We're not on like the savanna plains, but we're kind of in the savanna here. And then for the guest talk, because we're going to need a talk station here. That's actually still guest services. It's just under information. No, it's not. You're wrong. It's under media devices. There it is. Animal talk point. I always forget how we name these things, so just check it at another one. It's called Animal Talk. Dama Gazelle Talk. Educational content, Dama Gazelle. Schedule. This one can be in January. And then add it to your work zone under guest services. All right, Dama Gazelle's ready to go. Let's go check on our other Dama Gazelles. See how many else are ready to get moved in. These two are done with quarantine. You can come in here. Did we really only get 3? Yeah, you really only got 3. Okay, well, that's the Dama Gazelle's done. A lot of animals expecting offspring, which is very concerning. We're going to have a lot of breeding management to do. Wait, staff are queuing for a workshop? Ah, whatever. That'll resolve itself eventually. All right, who else is ready to get placed then? Dama Gazelles are in transit. How about our porcupines? Everybody through quarantine? Yes. Move you guys over here. Have you put your elephants into quarantine yet? No, they're just sitting around. All right. We should get them done. Send a zoo. It's $20,000 worth of elephants. Please don't break them. Why is that an invalid destination? Because it's full? Yeah. All right. For the time being, you can go to the Horn of Africa quarantine. Let's go put the porcupines away. Here's our first one now. Welcome to the zoo. What do you need? Your terrain is just fine. Your plant coverage is just fine. Your enrichment is not okay. We will give you a couple burrows. You can have one over here. And then you can have one over here if you guys are fighting and want to use a different burrow. You can have a little plant screen over here that you can play with. An herb scent marker here, here, here. Medium food trough over here. Drink of water. You have a melon feeder for food enrichment. You can have a jelly cake for food. Oh, you need more toy enrichment. Here, have a bunch of balls. You can have 3 balls to play with. You'll probably need a second food enrichment. You can have a barrel. Switch these around. We're looking for wide African Crested Porcupine. For the speaker, we're looking for African Crested Porcupine. And for the board, we're looking for African Crested Porcupine. Duplicate you. So we're going to need a board here for the ostrich. I don't want the speakers to overlap too bad. We're actually going to need a board here and here. And I don't want the speakers to overlap too badly, which means the next board for the porcupines is going to be around here. And then we'll just push it back a little bit. And then we'll have one more right here with a much smaller range on the speaker. Down to about 5. And then we can nudge it just a little closer. No. The whole thing, please. There we go. We will need a way for guests to pay us for seeing this majestic animal. You can go here, here, and here. And then we'll also need a talk point. I think the talk point should probably go where this bench is, because it's kind of the widest part of the path. But I'll admit that I didn't really think this out. And I may yet change it. By doing a little something like this. But I don't want you to connect to the path. So this path has to go so that you can put this in. Yeah. Yeah. And then the staff path is going to go over this portion of the water. Which is annoying. But God, it looks so bad. Can I push this up? Lesson learned, by the way. If you're going to work with water, make sure everything you want to do with the water is final. Because you'll never be able to change it ever again. Fine. You've forced my hand. You've really forced my hand. Isn't there like a yeah, flattened terrain? No, it really doesn't want to let you do it. You're gonna have to go like this. Man, I hate that. I really don't like that. For the time being, let's leave it. But we may revise that as we move through this section of the zoo with a bit more polish. This is going to be African Crested Porcupine. This talk is going to be in March. We'll just keep staggering them by about 2 months. Add it to Dry Savannah Trails guest services. I added you to the wrong work zone. What did I add you to? I added you to Horn of Africa. That's incorrect. Dry Savannah Trails guest services. There we go. Right. So that is where our talk point for this is going to go. Entirely possible that later we revise it, but this drags the cluster of people that show up for an animal talk off the beaten path. You could put the gate over here, maybe. Maybe. Anyway, that's Porcupine's done. Next, how are the wild dogs looking? Animal delivery abandoned because destination is inaccessible. I think that's just because I changed how the path works. So let's try again. No, they're still bringing him. Right? Show me where you are. Animal escape. What the heck? Hang on. What? What is going on with you? Where are you? He's not escaped. He's just in a box on the path. So you're supposed to come here. You, yeah, okay, they just left him. You're supposed to come here. Let's see if that takes care of it. I'm going to say probably. Facilities without power. That is a maintenance issue. Yeah, we need a mechanic on that. No intervention needed. Our zoo reputation is up to 4 stars, though. That's pretty good. Can I finally check in with my African wild dogs now? They have all made it through quarantine. All 4 of you, come over here, please. You are on that talk. Well done. Vet research complete. Good. Fruit bat 3. That does give us enrichment items. Layout. Fruit skewer A, apple rope, fruit skewer B. Delicious. Look at all this fun stuff they've got to hang out with in here. How nice. How lovely. Alright, what are persisting issues? You're getting delivered. Workshop is queued. It'll fix itself. That'll fix itself. Have the dogs been delivered yet? We are delivering the first dog now. Welcome, African wild dog. How you doing? Don't need hard shelter. I love seeing no hard shelter needed. But your terrain is all screwed up. So the most you need is short grass. Let's get on that. And you really don't want to have a lot of sand. I actually want soil to be in the front. Soil around the fences. So let's run that all the way along here. And I'm fine with blending it with sand here. We don't need the sand to go away entirely. We just need to add a bit of soil. So soil all along the front. And then as we get closer to the back, take my brush size up. Give me a little bit of grass in front. Something like this, and then some even lighter grass in front. Something like this. I'm fine with it looking kind of splotchy. And then back here, take me down to like 4. We'll have long grass along the back of the fence. This is why we overshot on our soil. And then we'll just fill it in until we hit the bare minimum that we need for long grass. There we go. Okay. Environment, fine. They need 0 plant coverage. Great news. And then enrichment. You can have... Is there really no food tray medium? There really isn't a food tray medium. Well, you can have a bamboo feeder. You can have a bunch of toys. You can have a chew toy. You can have a box. You can have a bunch of balls. Lots of balls. A Skittle feeder you can keep over there. You can have a rubber duck over here. Drinking station here and here. You're probably going to need a little bit more food enrichment. So how about you have a prey stick and a rotation feeder? That should give you a bunch to do. You can now set this board up. This is going to be wide African wild dog. And then duplicate it. These, you're duplicating the speaker. I'm going to duplicate the whole thing. These we're going to need to stagger. Sorry for hitting the mic. These we're going to need to stagger because we're going to have elephant information up here too. So we'll bring you up to about here. And remember that there's a power dead zone up here somewhere as well. It's right there. So we'll probably have an elephant board there. And then we'll have our next educational wild dog board at the end of the path. Back down on the ground. Right about there. And then you'll have one more of them right about here. And you'll have one more of them way down here. This, because you're thinking ahead, is where the talk is going to be for wild dogs. You've given it a nice section that's way out of the way of everything else. So as to minimize congestion. Facilities, education facilities, animal talk point. This is African wild dog talk. Educational content, African wild dog. You're going to be in May. We're going to add you to the work zone. Dry Savannah Trails. Here. Did you rename this one as well? You didn't. This is African Crested Porcupine talk. Wait, you only have 4 animals here. 1, 2... No, you have ostriches too. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Let's check our ostriches next. Common Ostrich. They've all passed quarantine. Move them in here. Vet research complete. Fox. What have you gotten this time? Potential toy and food enrichment? We'll see about that. Yeah, still nothing new. Dogs joining packs, dogs arriving in the zoo, ostriches just got here. Hello, my large friend. You are unhappy about everything. Oh, you don't like sand at all. You hate sand. All right. We'll do the same thing here. I need this intensity to be like 60. Line all the outside. Anywhere there's sand, we're just going to try and shave off as much of it as possible. We have now entered into having too much soil, but that's fine. Because we're going to inevitably trim off some of the edges of it with this. And then through the middle, we'll just run some grass. And voila, they're happy with that. They also don't need hard shelter. They don't need plants. They will need a little bit of enrichment. I did not give the hyenas a food dish. I don't know that they need one because they have food enrichment, but I should still give them a dish. And then you should also get a dish. You can have a drink. You can have another drink over here. Here's a toy for you to play with. Here is another toy for you to play with. Here's another 2 toys for you to play with. And then you need food enrichment as well. Here's a forage box. And that's all that I know about you for food enrichment currently. So you're just going to have to live with that. Okay, ostriches in. Let's add their... You didn't add donation bins for the African wild dogs. You're in such a hurry. Slow down. Probably shouldn't put it too close to the bins. People might think it's for trash. And I guess you should be higher up, so it looks like you're on the path. Something like that for now. Okay. So now that you're actually done with that, you can come over here and do the Common Ostrich. Duplicate you. You're going to sit right here. You are going to be wide Common Ostrich. You are going to be Common Ostrich. You are going to be Common Ostrich. Now I'm wondering if I did that right for the wild dogs. We'll go check it in a sec. And then we need to change the range on this speaker to be just about that big. Then we'll duplicate you. We'll move you down here. And then we'll fiddle... Wow, that's not even close. Much better. And then we'll fiddle with the range on this speaker again. You can be about that big if we nudge you a little. That will do just perfect. Grab some donation bins. Go here and here. Double check your wild dog sign to make sure you did all of those steps correctly. You did, okay. Well done. I should have given myself more credit. Oh, right. Right. This is going to be an inevitable conflict. No, you know what? It's not. I don't actually need you. Get out of here. Duplicate this. We've got the perfect slot, the perfect spot to slot you in here. Can pull you over to about there so that you're not interfering with the hyena. And then we can have one more about here, where it will also not interfere That's not the hyena, that's the Hamadryas baboon. But the point remains this insufficient funds. Oh my god, we spent all of our loan already? That's terrifying. that's, that's worrying. That's extremely worrying. I'll take a $5,000 loan too then. I don't think we need much more money. It's just this plus the African elephant and then we're good. So you're gonna go here. I also thought the game crashed there for a second. I should really save. Yeah, it feels laggy for some reason. I'm gonna save because I'm scared. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's the game, but let's just avoid that problem before it happens. All right, so that is our common ostrich is done. Where's the ostrich talk going to happen, though? You know what? The ostrich talk can happen right at this corner. No, that would be really bad for traffic. It should happen like here, because we've got a nice wide section of path here. We'll just nudge the path out a little bit. And then this will be where ostrich talk happens. Common ostrich talk. Common ostrich is the subject. This is going to be held in July. We'll stick it in the work zone. Dry Savannah Trails guest services. And then the last piece of the puzzle is the centerpiece, the elephants. So let's go grab them. They have also all passed quarantine. Move them into their habitat. Also, how are we looking on research? Was that a research that I have to stop doing now? Yeah, you only have 2 researchers working. Maya, start working on wild dogs. And honestly, Mabel, you can work on a common ostrich. You might queue a facility to do that, I'm not sure. We'll worry about that later. Mechanic research is done. Yes. Drink shops 1. Dude, that's good enough. Give me food shops 1, and then I'm just gonna leave Mariana on the next year of souvenir shops. So what is the new drink shop that we can make? Gulpy slush. Sure. So we will have a gulpy slush back here. This is going to cost you $8,000. You're right. I'll build 1 of them. I will add it to the work zone, and then we'll wait until we've turned a bit of a profit this month, fingers crossed. Boom. So you should also put your tables down in here. Facilities, bins, benches, picnic bench. Boom, 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 boom. 8. What's our power situation like back here? Our power situation is great, so you could fit 2 restrooms in here. But you can't really afford that currently. All right, we're just gonna let the zoo run for a bit. It's time to build up a profit. It's time to let the money roll in. Dama Gazelle's looking super popular. Nobody's really made it out to the dogs yet. Nobody's really made it out to the porcupines yet, but they'll filter in. Our other mechanic research is done. If that's food stalls, I'm taking you off of that as well. And then here are our big, beautiful centerpieces. Oh shit, I forgot they need water. Okay, sure. That also means you are going to need a water treatment plant. So utilities, select this group, select group, edit group, facilities, Water treatment. Terrain modification failed? Why are you mad about terrain modification? Is it because you're really close to the fence? I think it might be because you're really close to the fence. Let's hope it's that. It was. Okay. Thank God. Water treatment. And then put the brick wall back. Do not let the elephants escape. So where are we going to put their little pond then? I wish I had the foresight to connect it to the river somehow, but this section of the zoo is very busy now. So I don't really see that working. Maybe like this section? Maybe somewhere in here? Let's just try and dig something out. Yeah, that's probably deep enough. So we'll have a little bit of water that comes around this way. And then maybe it comes out here as well a bit. And then we'll just smooth up the sides a little bit. What do you mean obstructed? I see you trying to calculate it. Alright, we're gonna have to go lower then. We'll have to go to Terracite 2. And then smooth the edges out until they look a little nicer. Now you want to cooperate. Sure. For now, it's fine. We're gonna fix that up, because I don't like the way it looks currently, but it should be enough to keep them happy. Calculate. There you go. 725, that's more than enough. Okay. So they need short grass. They need more soil, more short grass, more long grass, less sand. Obvious candidate for more soil in and around the water. And then maybe like through here too. We'll also run dirt underneath all of the fence. So all through here. All through here. And then along back to here. It connects up with that. And then we just replace most of the sand spots with grass. They can tolerate a little bit of sand, so we don't have to go crazy with it. And we want to get it relatively close to the edges of the habitat, because we have a little too much soil in here right now. So like around here, you can really bump that grass right up to the edge. And then in these spots in the middle where it still looks a little sandy, we'll run long grass. And that should take care of the ratio. There we go. They're also going to need hard shelter. Just how tall are you? They need this, but higher by 1. So you're going to get one of these. Little 1 meter wall. And then you're going to get one of these. And then one of these. Move this around a bit. This I want to be like a viewing platform for them. So really the shelter should go back here. And then later we can turn this into some kind of giant building that makes it look like the elephants are integrated into it. Actually, we should do that now by building it off of this grid. So we'll have 1 meter breeze block here that comes out to about here. And then comes back in along here. And has a bit of like an implied size going on with the workshop. So we'll just sketch this out for now. I actually already don't like that this building doesn't really have... It's just like a box. So I think this section needs to move in by 1. And then this section needs to move over by 1. And now it's got just a bit more of like an interesting shape to it. And then give me just a lazy flat roof. All of this is temporary. We are going to clean it up later on as we move through this portion of the zoo. But this should be sufficient for hard shelter. There you go. Quick and dirty, but functional hard shelter for elephants. Environment, they need no plants. Enrichment, they need a lot. Food, oh god, we don't know anything about these guys. You can have 2 large balls. You can have 2 large barrel feeders. You can have 1 large food trough. You can have 2... No, you don't need drinky pipes because you have fresh water in your exhibit. You can have a rubbing pillar. It looks a little small for you, if we're being honest, but you can have one of those. And then how are you looking? You need way more enrichment. Okay, you can have a second rubbing pillar. You can have... No, yeah, you can have a sprinkler, sure. A little sprinkler on the shore of the lake. Everything else, we're going to discover more stuff for you. So your enrichment might be kind of low now, but we're going to sort it out for you. Also, what do you mean you don't have hard shelter? That should be navigable for you, no? Wow, it's not. It needs to be even higher. It needs to be even wider? Yeah, maybe they can't even fit through that. Okay, I can fix that, though. We need to use the L piece. Breeze, block. Yeah, we need to use a surround. Grid height should be to 1 meter. The surround isn't going to be tall enough. It needs to be a surround like this. And then you raise this whole roof by 1. like that. And then you do a little space fan. And also you probably cover up this back wall too. But you have windows. You all have windows. Oh, and you're just wrong. Yeah, you're on the wrong side. There you go. And then grab a 2-meter piece. Yeah, so something like that. And then you want to see, can an elephant traverse into that? Son of a... I do like the idea of having this be a mega building. It's just not gonna look like that by the time it's done. How's your hard shelter looking now, friend? There you go. Except it's actually not enough. This is crazy. Oh my god, they're so big. They're huge, man. But they're in. Okay. Many guestings tickets are underpriced. We did add 5 animals. Also, our Savannah elephant has immediately become the most appealing species we have. We're gonna go up to 35. We're gonna go up to 35.25. And we're gonna see how that suits us. So let's switch all this stuff over to be about African Savannah elephants. You already did the board. That's great. Duplicate you. You really don't want to skimp on education coverage for these guys. They are the most important animal in the zoo by far. So we are going to absolutely plaster these things around. We will never have to worry about going broke ever again. Stick one here, and you're going to shrink the radius down just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. You can go to 8, and then you can do a little adjustment. There you go. Do the same thing on the other side. No room there. No real room there. But you can do one here. And is this the one with radius 8? It is. So duplicate it. Yeah, we'll just run a couple with radius 8, whatever. So it's slightly more expensive. No, go back up to 11. And then just shuffle it around a bit. There we go. Get one about here. You can get a very small one here. You need to go down to probably 5. Yeah, 5 will fit. And then we can shuffle you a little bit. You can go to like here. And then grab your 11 one. Start smearing them up here on the above path. about here. That's powered, right? Yeah, that's where the gap is. Okay. So then you want one more here that will not be 11. It's going to be maybe like 5. Duplicate it, move it to here. Move it to here. No, a little more, because it's overlapping there. You're going to need it about here. You're out of money again. Oh my god. So expensive. Don't get me wrong, I love that it's a problem. I love that I have to interface with the budget element of the game, but it's so expensive. Alright, let's just let things run for a bit. You know what? While we're waiting to make money, this is a great time to do a general zoo health checkup. Let's go see how everybody's doing. Adaxes, how are things looking in here? They are a-okay. Everybody is having a wonderful time. Are you allowed to breed right now? No. But that's okay, because we still have 2 juveniles. Porcupines, skip them. Tortoises, you never need to look at the tortoises. They'll always be okay. Donkeys, you took care of last time. You had a slight overpopulation issue. You're probably just going to wait for your alpha donkey to die. No, they should be breeding right now. What's your group size like? 1 to 6, 1 male, 5 females. You can go back to breeding. I want to have some fresh donkeys. You should be on contraceptives, though. No, I remember why I did this. It's because it doesn't matter if you release donkeys. They're domesticated. They don't actually get you anything. Caracals. Caracal's doing okay. We have our backup in the trade center. Dromedary camels. All 3 are pregnant. Guess what, bud? You're back on the contraceptives. Egyptian fruit bats are doing population management on. Those are fine. Fennec foxes are fine. We could probably release both of you for some extra leaf bucks and to thin the place out a little bit. We might be able to get 1 more breeding cycle out of you. The Hamadryas baboons are also fine. We're waiting for like 4 of them to mature. Red foxes are a little overpopulated. Oh, Hazel was a morph we bought from somebody else. Oh. Okay. I think the foxes are okay. How long does a fox live? 12 years? We can afford to ignore them for 1 more year. Scarab beetles are pop management. Why do I have so many sandcats? And why have I gotten no alert about them? They should be miserable right now. Oh, 4 in the trade center. That's fine. You can go. See ya. What else needs to get fixed in here? You need to get rid of like 2 more. Well, no, you just had a big litter. That's all. It's just a big litter of them. So we're going to wait for these 3 to mature. Granted, they are grumpy right now because something is wrong with their social. What's up with your social, friend? Stress. Okay, you can just go and hide and fix that yourself. We're going to let these guys mature out, and then we're going to migrate some of the sandcats from the trade center back in there. Scimitar horned oryxes are a-okay. As soon as we do some of this, they had a nice big litter. Somali wild ass, they're doing fine. And striped hyena. Striped hyena is getting a little big. Probably time to put you guys on contraceptives. But there's a lot of you still maturing. I don't think I have to deal with you immediately. So zoo health doing okay. We're also back up to $11,000 already. So we can go and do this last stuff. We can have our next guest education point finally come in. And then we'll do one more of them right here. And for these, when we come back and decorate the elephant habitat, we're gonna do those up nice. We're gonna give them like their own boxes and everything. And then give me one more and put it right here. Raise it up a bit. There you go. All right, so that is all of your education in. Miraculously, everything is powered because you dodged that little power gap that you have. You have bins down for all of them. The talk point is obviously going to go up here. This is Savannah Elephant Talk. Educational content, Savannah Elephant. This one is going to be October. And then we'll add it to the work group. Dry Savannah Guest Services. In you go. We also add you. And then Dry Savannah Animal Care. We add you. That's everything. So, this is going to be a very ugly section of the zoo for a while. But over the next 5 episodes or so, we're going to come through and we're going to decorate out each of these and we're going to make them look like something. These are by far the largest habitats that I've had to do so far. The wild dogs are enormous. And, oh, we might need to bump that fence up a little bit. They're too far away. Yeah, I think people are going to be grumpy about trying to see animals from that one. Guests are fine with that. What are you guys mad about? What's the problem? No food? Well, why aren't they getting fed? Is there like a work zone issue here or something? Dry Savannah Animal Care? No, they're assigned. Are my keepers too busy? No, they're all chilling. Why are you guys not getting fed? It's very mysterious. Inspecting ostriches. Inspecting dog. Inspecting gazelle. You should get it figured out here relatively soon. We've got vet research complete. Boxes again. 2 potential toys this time. I'd be surprised. Yeah, still nothing. Although, you're actually short 1 food enrichment item. We'll give you a little Skittle feeder over here. That should cheer you up a bit. What do you guys think of the ostriches? Animals are roasting? Are you guys too hot? How's your... No, you're fine. You're okay. You're doing your mating dance in front of everybody. You're having a great time with it. Okay. And porcupines. View is fine. So we might have a few adjustments to make. I think this exhibit might go a little too far back. I would love to set it up as something that's more like a dog run. But I need to let them populate it first to make sure that it's going to be big enough. Oh, they do need hard shelter. Okay, I'll build you a clean, dirty hard shelter then. This is why it's good to check things. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Move some of these enrichment items out of the way. Three. There you go. This doesn't need to be super tall. Dogs are not that big. I think 3 meters should still be high enough to let a keeper in. And then do I have like a perch I can use for you? I do. So that's your little house. I do need a gable, a slope rather. We can give it a little bit of flair. Just a tiny bit. No, not 1 meter flat. Yeah, just 1 meter roof. And then flat on top. So there's your nice doghouse. Temporary doghouse. They are at 4651. Which is like pretty big, I feel. But then we did want a pack of 8, I think we said. Let me double check that. Animals. African wild dog. Zoopedia. If I have 8 adults, 4 juveniles, I need 2K, and you're at 4K? Yeah, we can make this a lot smaller. I don't know what I was thinking. But this should help with visibility. Because it's going to force them to stay closer to the bearers of the exhibit. We'll still have a little round part down here for viewing. But we can tighten that up a bit. Elephant viewing is going to be a mess. There's nothing we can do to fix that. It's just the nature of the habitat. We've done as good as we can for viewing here, but if they all decide to live over here, people here are going to be grumpy. Can't really do anything about that one. Porcupine's fine. Dama Gazelle's still waiting to get fed. It is maybe a bit of a long one. We'll see. We'll see if it shakes out. It was just a busy time for all of our keepers. Maybe they're still, you know, figuring their life out. So Red Fox is about to be done. And then we've mostly started in on all of our new animals. We can also, well, we're close to being able to. Also, the person who works here needs to be added to the work zone. You should be the only vendor that does not have a work zone. And Bernie's bakes too? What the hell? Alright, you're supposed to be Horn of Africa guest services, I guess, then. Beef Beef 6? You're supposed to be Dry Savannah guest services. And then here's Gulpy Slush Warm. Yeah. Dry Savannah guest services. So we're going to have a second Gulpy Slush. And then what is our new food facility that we unlocked? Hot dog squad. We're going to have 2 hot dog squads. That will give us 1 new employee. Under H. Who belongs in Dry Savannah guest services. And then as soon as we're up to 2,000, we're going to duplicate you. You guys like the zoo, the view of the African elephant from here? No, man, they hate it. He's right there. And you guys are looking at the damn dogs. We're going to have to switch this up a bit. I don't think I can let people view the dogs from here. I think I'm going to have to put a rock there. So this is dedicated to the elephants only. Yeah, there's a lot of viewer work that we're going to have to do up here. Also, vending machines up here. Ah, never mind, we're broke. We're not going to be broke for long, but we're broke for now. We also need to add this to work zone. Boom, boom. But this is a long walk from anywhere, so this seems like an ideal point to put like 2 drink vending machines. Extremely busy over here, but we knew it was going to be. This is a super high traffic area of the zoo. We may need to think about getting even more stalls in there somehow. Which would probably be bumping this path out a little bit and putting the bathrooms here and then relocating more tables over there. But we'll see if we have to do that. It looks like we might, but maybe that'll shake out. Who can say? Alright, last research of Red Fox. Did we get anything new for you? The answer is no. But Red Foxes are done, which is nice. So now for our vet research, we can allocate 1 more of our vets to... Well, we'll start in on the elephant. Elephant's got 8 levels. We're probably going to need to do it. And then that is our souvenir shop done. We are almost at $2,000 to build our next hot dog squad. There we go. Add it to your work zone. Good. Did I get a mechanic over here to fix this, maybe? Feels like we might be a little short on mechanics. Alright, next money threshold we hit. We're doing a pair of Gulpy drink machines. It's gonna be a little while. Like, this fence needs to get fixed. This fence needs to get fixed. The Dama Gazelles are still hungry? No, they're shy. Oh God. I just didn't think about this at all. Hold on. Oh no. And you're $2,700 in the hole? Oh no. So they're gonna need hard shelter simply as a mechanism to get away from people looking at them. Yeah. Okay. Everybody else mostly chilling now that they settled in though? Elephants are doing fine. Starving, but fine. None betting? I can't afford betting right now. Well, the elephants are happy enough to mate, so that's a good sign. Everybody's mostly happy except for available food, which is horrible. This has only served 5 meals. Is it a staffing issue? I'm not sure. I think we're gonna have to let it play out a little bit. We're $8,000 in the hole. Are we going broke? There's no way. We made $10,000 this year, which is a massive drop off from last year and from an average year. But I think we just need some time to catch up. Guess still think tickets are underpriced. I'll go to 38.26. Yeah, we only made $8,000 profit this year. I think it'll shake out. I think it'll shake out and we'll be okay. But it does mean we're gonna have to build like the habitat we build in the next year, because we're at December year 20 already. It's probably gonna need to be the Dama Gazelle simply because we can do it cheaply. We're going to need to take out another loan, and we're going to need to pick a cheap exhibit. We still have a lot of loan to repay too. I have concerns about taking the 50K loan. I think the 50K loan when our cash is this unstable would be very bad. Lions over here are beginning to die down. Ichlas is preventing other animals from breeding. I mean, that should be okay, but we'll deal with it on next year's wellness check if it's really that important. 13 down to 14. Profit is down to 7. We may not turn a profit this year. But we also had $21,000 worth of purchases. We'll see. We'll see. What an interesting conundrum to have. But at any point, it is January 1st of year 21. For the first time since like year 2, the financial position in the zoo feels less than stable. But I have absolutely no doubt that we will be able to claw that back somehow. So next episode, we're probably going to let things roll for a little bit, make up a little bit of money, and then we're going to kick in on decorating and beautifying some of these habitats. This is currently a functional part of the zoo. It works, everything runs. It just doesn't look very good. So over the next 6-7 years in game, not in real life, we're going to go through each of these habitats and we're going to bring up code. We're going to make them look nice. We're going to make them fit in thematically with the rest of the zoo. If you're looking forward to that, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you know when these videos are going to come out in the future. And if you've got any ideas for how we can decorate this portion of the zoo, drop into the comments and let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'm open to ideas on how we can work this section, and I'm really excited to crack into it. But until then, that's our allotted time for Planet Zoo today. So take care, and I'll see you next time in year 21. Have a good one.